Thank you for joining us today, TSPN News. I'm here today, Mike Spence, with California State Assemblyman Frank Bigelow. Frank, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming.
Great to be here, Mike.
I know you've had an incredibly busy schedule, and it's nice that you were able to fit us in again at TSPN. We appreciate that.
Well, you know, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here. It's also a pleasure and honor to represent the people of Assembly District 5. It's pretty exciting being new to the State Assembly, not new to politics. After 14 years as a county supervisor, I've had the chance to get my feet wet in politics, if you will, and just something you probably already know. I was formerly the president of all the state counties, and I had a great honor of representing everybody throughout the entire state at one point or another. So being back at the Capitol is kind of a deja vu for me, so it's really good.
District 5 is a huge portion of the state. You have all the entire Yosemite area up to Tahoe along 395, that all the way to the Eastern Sierras, all the way to Tahoe, and then all the way down to Sacramento, all the foothills. I mean, that's a huge, District 5 is a large district to represent.
A lot of people ask me, so, how big's your district? And I said, well, 9 counties. Just imagine the clear waters of the Lake Tahoe, all those wonderful, majestic lakes at Mammoth, and then the rushing waters of the San Joaquin River.
Yeah, my favorite area.
There's the boundaries of my district, and it's flavored with so many great communities. And we have this national treasure called Yosemite National Park.
If you ever need a driver to drive you around your town hall meetings, I know you have.
I've had so many volunteers for that job.
I bet. You're going through some nice territory.
Oh, it is. It is. And great people, and it's just sprinkled with great adventurous opportunities for people to come and see. So I now understand why Huell Hauser used to enjoy going around through California and seeing all these little spots. And sorry to see him pass away, but I had an opportunity to be with him on an episode.
Did you? Yeah, he came to Amador County.
Yes.
He did a couple of great things here.
I was watching it. I was staying here in town at the National Hotel and spending time there. What a wonderful facility that is.
It's great to have that renovated.
Oh, it's I tell you what, the folks here in Jackson have a gym, and in fact, people throughout the state. Not to give them a plug.
No,
that's just a great place to stay.
We call that, Frank, is the foot of Main Street, and that's really what it is.
Well, you folks have
got a really foundation of our entire business community here.
The folks who put that back to life, everyone here owes them a real debt of gratitude.
Well, you're dealing with a lot of serious issues. You know, there's a lot of great energy in your district, but there's also a lot of serious issues. And I know you had a town hall meeting at the Civic Center last night in Jackson. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the issues that were raised?
Well, first let me say thank you to the mayor and the city council for opening up the Civic Center so that we could have an event.
Pat Kerr is a wonderful mayor.
Oh, great man. And, you know, they've gone even farther. They've made it possible. Senator Tom Berryhill and myself have teamed up with an office here in Jackson. It's right there at the Civic Center. And we have a combined staffer, Dana Jorgensen. So incredible. I want to make sure that message gets out because I want people to know that they have the ability to have contact with me. And having a local office is important. And so this office serves as the hub right here in the center of the district so that we can go any which way. And
Dana's
so
such
come
a local person, and he's really a great coordinator of all your activities.
He's a fixture, and we're both blessed to have him in our office. Now, going to the town hall meeting, it was great. We had a number of folks turn out for the event, and there was a host of events. And really, the event was more about not just me to stand in front of people and you know give a big old speech. It was about learning about what people here in Jackson and throughout the community. And we didn't just have folks from Jackson or Amador County. We had folks came down from El Dorado County that came to attend the event. And in fact, Lake Tahoe. That's a pretty good drive for someone to come down. And I appreciate all the folks that did. But what I found, you know, everybody's got the same issues in this district. They're worried about their economy, they're worried about jobs, they're worried about having their community facilities stay open, they're worried about their businesses and the taxes, they're worried about all the regulations. So there's a plethora of discussion points for us to have. In fact, there were some folks we met, they're veterans, returning veterans. Each of them have suffered some level of injury from having been in the service. So they had some questions and concerns that they wanted to raise. And on top of that, we talked about a couple of my bills that are going along. So
you have quite a
it was
few bills,
pretty good.
and you're sitting on quite a few committees. Do they assign you to those committees? Because I know you're on about 4 or 5 different committees.
Yeah, I've got 5 direct major committees. I sit on the Rules Committee.
Right.
I sit on the Appropriations Committee. I sit on the Natural Resources Committee. I sit on the Government Organization Committee.
There's one that you're going to mention maybe, but I didn't realize there was a committee for fairs, because we are the fair, I mean, Amador County, I've been going to the fair. This is my adopted home. I've only been here about 10 years, but my family, we've grown up at that fair, and my daughter has shown her horses there, and we have some family memories with our fair. And I didn't realize there was a fair committee, and you actually handle some of the appropriations and allocations for fairs throughout the region.
Exactly. Water Parks and Wildlife is the 5th major committee, and there's so many different subcommittees that are within those committees. So you get those 5 committees are what you're given by the Speaker. The Speaker of the Assembly makes the assignments.
Right.
Now you put in, the Speaker typically asks for you to put in. Not always do you get everything that you ask for. In my particular case, he made the assignments to the committees. I went to the Speaker. He asked me. You have
Water, Parks, and Wildlife in District 5. That's for sure.
To be real honest, I went to him, and now recognize I'm a Republican, and recognize the Speaker is a Democrat. And we met, we sat down, he says, I noticed that you left all your committees blank. I said, sir, I'm here to serve. I would appreciate the committees that you feel would be most responsible and respectful to the district that I serve. But I'm here to serve, and I just am willing to serve. And he said, well, what would you like? I said, well, these are some that I would like to consider. And a couple of days later, I got the committees I wanted.
That's fantastic.
And there's some that didn't get it that way.
Did you tell them I'm a super minority, get used to it, and I'm here to serve?
Well, it's worked out, and sometimes you can be forceful and get something done. It's like the old story, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, I got the horse to the water, and we both had a drink.
That's fantastic.
How's that?
Yeah, when it works out, especially in Sacramento, because there are just a number of complexities when you get into a situation like that. I'm sure you found it to be kind of frustrating at times as well.
There are frustrations. There's no question. Obviously, there's miles of differences of opinion, and you talked about it earlier. There's differences on the fire fee. I have 2 bills that are up. One of them is going to have some discussion, I'm sure, in committee, and that's on the timber harvest aspects of being able to harvest timber on your own property.
I saw that bill. Yeah, that looks great.
It's a good bill. We've got bipartisan support, a number of folks who are helping with that, and I do believe that ultimately the people are going to be the beneficiaries of that ability to do something on their own property.
Right.
And I think also the fire fee. That's really a bill that I've co-sponsored, co-authored on for a number of different folks, but it seems like, no pun intended, a number of them are going down in flames. The other side just really wants to keep that tax alive, and interestingly enough, there are some who are now broadening that aspect of that tax. They actually want to take and broaden it to, there's a couple of different proposals. One's to be a per inhabitable residence fee everywhere, for everybody throughout the state.
To pay a certain smaller amount.
Then
to single out a specific group to pay the entire fee.
Correct, and recognize the fire fee as it's currently done. It would generate about $80 million. Under the new proposals, there'll be between $400 and $600 million of monies generated. So no wonder they're jumping to broaden the horizon. But anyway, one would be a per inhabitable residence fee. The other one would be done on an assessed valuation.
Right. Well, it'd be one thing, I think the general idea of a fire fee, at first everybody was kind of, well, I guess that might be a good thing, but then they don't know where the funds are being allocated, and I've heard that some of those fire fees are not even being allocated to local projects. That money may be spent in other places as well. Is that an issue in terms of where the money's being spent?
Well, it absolutely, that was the crux of the issue. I think going through the campaign and going through, through the district, we were seeing a great deal of controversy people didn't mind if they saw more people, another fire engine, if they saw something tangible for their money. But they were getting nothing for their money. The money was actually structured to go and pay for administrative fee functions. And it was also going to go to grants, just giveaway programs. I don't support that. I don't believe in that. And to begin with, they cut our local fire fee funding by $60 million. So here they were generating money in excess of what they cut, and they weren't replenishing what they cut. And we lost personnel in that original cut. So this is a very complex issue with a lot of tentacles to it that we need to really address before we see it move forward in a meaningful way.
Well, the fire fees, it sounds like it makes sense, but we pay that in our regular taxes. We pay a fee, and then we pay it in a number of different places throughout, the fees that we already pay. And then I have a place at Kirkwood. I pay for the fire department there already. We're paying for our own fire department.
Yes.
And then you're paying another fire fee for, on top of that. It seems like the fee is kind of compounded and repetitive. It just doesn't,
it totally is.
The idea of it just being a single fee would be one thing, but it does seem like it's kind of repetitive, and they're getting a little bit more than, double dipping, do they call that, or whatever they call it?
In some cases it was, well, not in some, in many cases it was absolutely double dipping, and that's what really irritated a lot of folks, was the fact that it was double dipping. When in fact we should have our taxes. What we should be doing is taking out the core essential purposes of government at the very top, paying for those expenses, and then when we've got revenues that are left over, then we use some of these programs that are compassion programs.
We're going to come right back. This is an insightful conversation. We'll be right back after the break.